Hey, what is up guys? If you guys may have remember me doing phone collection videos, that wasn't my final phone collection video. Why is it so dark in here? Because I've turned off the light, so that way I can make this phone collection a lot more interesting than I have the screen on while in the dark room. As you guys may know, this time it's going to be a little bit more different and I'm going to have a little bit of a twist. I'm going to go over phones, all of my phone collections, but this time adding a little bit of a twist, going over the status of the phones. Let's get started with the phone. This is the LG VX6100. As you could tell, this phone was released in 2004. The phone itself, it doesn't work, but sometimes work. Power button doesn't appear to be turning on, and the phone with itself is in decent condition. Let's move on to the next. This right here is a Samsung D807. This phone was released back in 2006. Status of this phone, it's untested. No battery in it. And with it more, everything seems to be also in decent condition. Let's move on to the next. Up next is the BlackBerry 8330. Status of this phone. This phone was released in 2008. It's dead. It does work. And it's also in decent condition. Moving on to the next. Up next is the Kyocera slider. Just got the name. Status of this phone. It's untested, but somehow works. Also in decent condition. Moving on to the next. Up next is the Samsung SCH. Okay, I can't remember the name. This phone was released in 2008. Status of this phone does not work. Battery is swollen, but still works in charger. Moving on to the next is the Motorola W755. This one was released also in 2008. Status of this phone. There's no battery in it. Works only in the charger when I have a charger plugged in. Moving on to the next one. It's also pretty dirty and sticky as well, so I gotta clean this thing up. Next is the Nokia. Don't even know the name. I keep forgetting. Status of this phone. Release date is unknown. And it's untested. There's little bits of hard I tried to remove. It's untested. Doesn't work. But this phone is also in mint condition, I'll say. Moving on to the next phone. Up next is the Samsung Sway. Status of this phone. Released in 2008. Status of the phone. I swapped the parts from the other Samsung Sway. It is in good shape. The battery doesn't work, but it does work still. Moving on to the next phone. Now, why did I actually do that? Because I wanted to show you guys that these phones actually don't work. Those are my non-working phones. Now we're going to go over the ones that do turn on. This is an LG NV3. Release date of the status, released in 2008, or 2009. My bad, I was supposed to say 2009. Released in 2009. Phone status of it, also in good shape. From Verizon. It did got a little bit of a broken LED, but still does work. This one here is a BlackBerry 9330. Release date, probably in 2010. Works. Status of it works. discontinued from Verizon, and it's in good shape. Next is the LG Vortex, released in 2010, and it's running Android Froyo, or also known Android 2.2. Status of the phone, it works, but it's being resetted, and it's stuck on an activation locked, which means this is no longer supported by Verizon. Discontinued from Verizon. Up next is the iPhone 4S. Status of the phone, released in 2011. Status of this phone, it's dead, and I haven't found the charger for it. Version that is on. It is iOS 9.3.0. I just made up that. Moving on. It's dead. Another one of these broken phones. Up next is the Samsung S3 Mini. Status of the phone. Released in 2012. Status of the phone is untested. Doesn't work. Made from Verizon. Had 4G LTE. Screen or logic board or motherboard not working. Let's move on. Up next is the Samsung Galaxy S4. Released in 2013 on April. Status of the phone. Works. It works. No cracks or any signs of damage. A little bit of damage up here in the chipping and on the side too, which you can't barely see because it's dark. Also see the Sprint logo. There it is. And on top of here too. It's a little bit of damage, but it's still in good shape. Up next is the Samsung Galaxy Mega. Released in 2013 as well, in June. Status of the phone. It is locked. It is passcode locked. PIN locked. From AT&T. Super bright. Yes, this phone was released in 2013 with a megapixel camera. I don't even know how many blocks. Moving on. Up next is the Samsung Galaxy Avant. Released in 2014. Status of the phone. In good shape. No signs of damage. Made from Metro PCS. Also by T-Mobile. Next is the Huawei. Okay, I don't remember. Released in 2015. Status of the phone. Works. No signs of damage. No signs of any bad condition. Works. Next phone. Up next is a Life Wireless whatever phone that I don't even know. Status of the phone is unknown. Good shape, it just got scratches and some smearing on it. Works. These will be one of my phones. So let's go over to one of my broken iPhones. This is an iPhone 6s. Released in 2015. Status of the phone. Does not work. Screen doesn't appear to work anymore. No longer supports to iOS 15. Only supports from iOS 12. Moving on. This is one of my other iPhones that I used to have. This right here is an iPhone 6s Plus. Status of the phone. Released also in 2015. And it's much bigger of a 6.5 inch. Status of the phone. If you can barely tell, the battery is a little bit bloated. The screen is actually lifting up, and battery is totally been swollen. If you can barely see that the screen is starting to lift up pretty easily. No longer works. It doesn't work because the battery is not in good shape. Battery is completely dead. Or should I say, bloated. Still runs iOS 15, but will no longer run to iOS 16. Moving on. Another working phone. Next is the Stylo 2. Released in 2016. Status of the phone. It's got a little crack, I can tell, up there once I see the Sprint logo with the white screen. Can't really see that. There it is. You can see some white shards. There's some white shards. There it is. It's got shards right there. Don't even know how that happened. It's still in good shape. Also, this phone does lag. Status of the phone is at 91% of charge. Moving on to the next phone. This right here is an iPhone 7. Oh wait, who am I kidding? This is also one of my non-working phones. This is the iPhone 7. Released also in 2016. No longer supports to iOS 16. Only supports iOS 15.7.3. I made up an iOS version that it works. It's dead. When I plug it in, it will start to work. Still works also in the US. Moving on. Next is the LG V30 Plus. Released in 2017. Status of the phone. It's got a back glass that's cracked, which I'm going to need to take out the case for that, but you guys may know that the back glass is cracked. Status of the phone. It is Google locked because someone put a 2FA on there, and it's halfway charged, which is at 15%. Okay, just shut it already. We need to go over this phone. Someone in my comment on, I think my first phone collection video or some of my phone collection videos, I think someone said that this phone is fake. So let's go over. Sorry if the LG V30 Plus is still speaking because of the setup. This right here is an wait. This right here is a Samsung Galaxy 8 S8 Plus. Someone told me in the comments that this phone is fake. So I flipped it over. Let me get. Here's a spudger I have. Now I'm gonna open this thing up. I'm actually gonna have to do that off camera. Here I have it open. So start separating. And we have a look inside of it. This back, I think someone told me that this thing is very plastic, so it should crack very easily. It's got a little bit of this plastic, some kind of unglued on something. Now have a look inside here. As you can see, any of you or some of you don't know if these parts are not supported for the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Let me know in the comments below if this is real or fake. And if some of you voted for fake, then you're right about this. If you guys think you're right if it's fake. But if some of you are false about this, then let me know in the comments if it's not fake. Moving on to the next phone. Status of this, released also in 2017. And it's actually dead right now since the charger, battery connector. So, moving on to the next. This next phone is the iPhone 10. Released in 2017. Status of the phone, yes, it's released in 2017. This used to be my main phone. Status of the phone, it no longer works. It is totally fried. Sometimes when I turn on the phone, and when I usually start using it, it starts to like turn off after that. But still, it is in very, very clean condition. Now I just got fingerprints on it because of the light. But yeah, I'm just gonna clean it more. This phone will still support iOS 16 until the furthermore future, until they stop supporting the iPhone 10. Moving on. And my last one that some of you may know that I've used to record on my phone when I was in Hawaii, when I was in Las Vegas, when I was maybe at Knott's Berry Farm. You guys may have known it. My 11 Pro Max. This phone is also this phone is 2019. This phone doesn't work. I don't want to flip it over because you guys may be shocked that my phone is actually having no screen. This phone has no screen in it. I got the back glass replaced because some of you guys didn't know that my other back glass I actually got the one with the midnight green. So I actually got the wrong color. And I got the one with the space gray that had the same color. I know from a mistake I really need to do. So yeah, this phone status doesn't work. It's not fully put back together. Battery's missing on that. Face ID is missing, and the screen is missing as well. And now out of all of my phones that I've gone over, let's see if we can get them all turned on. This one just restarted. So this is it. These are one of my working phones. Some of them don't work. Some of them just turn off. So yeah, these are all of my phones that works. If you guys like this video, I hope make sure to like and make sure to subscribe. I messed up my saying. Make sure to subscribe. Well, okay then. If you guys like going over and reviewing the status of the phones, make sure you do. Alright, I'll see you guys maybe on my very next video if I can maybe do another TV show clip. And just gotta let you know one more thing. Did you guys notice where is my LG Aristo 2? I got some bad news about this. Back in 2023 on April, the LG Aristo 2, I just put up a random month. The LG Aristo 2, unfortunately, the screen wasn't working. So what happened was, the screen, unfortunately, the main board, unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is, it does not work. So unfortunately, I got rid of that phone, so that way the phone itself wouldn't work anymore. So yeah, I'm so sorry about that, but maybe I'll get a new one from eBay or buying it from a junkyard. If maybe I can add that to the collection. Let me know in the comments if you guys like that phone. Okay guys, now I'll see you guys maybe in the future video update. Bye bye. Please make some likes.